This is Recipe for Sleep, a podcast where we dust off very old cookbooks and let them lull us into dreamland. I'm Erin Brindley, a chef and storyteller. I was combing the shelves for an old cookbook that seemed appropriate for spooky season, and I came across Quick Cooking, a book of culinary heresies written by one of the Heretics. The concept of the cookbook is simple enough. It's a precursor to Rachel Ray's genre of quick meals for the busy mom. But I love how the author, Flora Haines Loughead, frames simplifying complicated recipes as heresy against the purveying idea that the more complicated the dish, the more worthy a housewife. Then she goes on to suggest that with the time you save by not making dinner complicated, you should rest. Amen, Flora. Rest is resistance. And Flora herself was amazing. She was an accomplished author of both fiction and nonfiction, and in 1915, when she was 60 years old, she was sent on a reporting trip by the San Francisco Chronicle to Nevada to report on the discovery of opals. While she was there, she decided to buy 15 claims and spent the rest of her life mining opals. She became known as the Opal Queen, owning 4 different opal mines. My quick Wikipedia search of Flora Haines Loughead led me down a historical rabbit hole of this incredible woman. No wonder she did not have time to make complicated meals. Is it worth mentioning her son started the aerospace company Lockheed Martin? Nah, let's get back to those recipes. The structure of the book is chaos. Everything simply in alphabetical order, so recipes for coffee are right next to codfish. It's got a nice intro before we settle into the recipes, which, like the best ones, read like little poems. I'll read them to you, softly and sweetly, until you fall asleep. Now, it's time to put away anything you were doing and snuggle deep into your sweet covers. Softly close your eyes and imagine the kitchen of your mind. There are 2 cupboards there. Yesterday's cupboard, for all the things that have already happened that your mind wants to chew on, and tomorrow's cupboard, for all the things you're going to do or what's going to happen later. It's time to put everything away in those cupboards. Imagine closing each one. You made it to this cozy, quiet time of day where there's nothing to do but listen to me read old recipes to you until you drift off to sleep. Quick Cooking, a book of culinary heresies for the busy wives and mothers of the land, by one of the Heretics. Now, good digestion weighed on appetite, and health on both. Macbeth, Act 3, Scene 4. Copyright by Flora Haines Loughead, 1887. Preface. This handbook of cookery contains 630 recipes, tested and vouched for by an experienced cook, 340 of which, if prepared according to the directions, can, severally or in groups, be made ready for the table in from 5 to 15 minutes, and 250 of which require from 15 to 40 minutes, or rarely an hour's time. The few remaining dishes which consume more time and are distinctly segregated from the rest are nevertheless greatly abridged, and so planned as to require the least possible attention. The editor is aware that this cookbook is a revolutionary production. It flies in the face of the accepted tradition that the woman who stands most faithfully over the cook stove is best deserving of canonization. It lays the axe to old superstitions, which would have us believe that certain elaborate ceremonies and rites are essential to the successful evolution of certain dishes. It throws down the gauntlet to the leaders of the modern cooking schools, who claim to elevate the character of the humblest homes and advance the interest of the economy by the elaboration of simple materials and cheap articles of food into numerous fancy dishes prepared with infinite labor. Quick cooking declares there is no waste in the kitchen so much to be deplored as wasted time. Unlike any other cookbook, its leading principle is to economize labor and time, at the same time securing to its disciples a wide choice of appetizing fare. Whether the hours thus saved the busy housewife shall be devoted to rest, self-improvement, to outdoor recreation, to the training of her children, or to the discharge of other and more pressing cares, is left to her own decision. The editor assumes that quick cooking will be consulted chiefly by tired and overworked wives and mothers, who constitute by far the larger number of the housekeepers of the land. But even where there is a servant or two in the household, the book should be a welcome acquisition, for time saved to the servant is help gained to the mistress. The girl who discharges her kitchen duties quickly and methodically can help to clear the mending basket, tend the baby, look after the older children, and make herself useful in a variety of ways. Not the least important discovery arising from the experiments leading to the collection of recipes which make up quick cooking is the determination of the surprising amount of time required for many common dishes. Few women have the faintest idea of the amount of time they give to the preparation of various articles of food. Many apparently simple dishes have been ruled out from this book because of the extravagant time they consume, when contrasted with the results achieved. As an instance of the direful waste of time of which I speak, I am tempted to quote a recipe I lately saw in one of the newspapers, attributing to one of our famous teachers of cookery. The dish is called frozen pudding, and the instructions for making it read as follows. Steep 6 bitter almonds, bruised, and the peel of a lemon, pared very thin, in a pint of milk on the stove at almost boiling point, until the flavor is well drawn out. Add 1 ounce of gelatin and a pinch of salt. Stir till gelatin is dissolved. Strain and return to the saucepan. Add half a pint of thick cream and 5 ounces of sugar. Let it all just boil. Stir in quickly the yolks of 6 eggs well beaten. Set the saucepan in boiling water and stir till thick, but be careful not to let the eggs curdle. Pour it out and stir till nearly cold. Then mix 2½ ounces of candied cherries and 2 ounces of citron cut small, or 3 ounces of preserved ginger and 1 ounce of pistachio nuts blanched. Pour the pudding into an oiled mold and pack in ice. If ginger is used, serve the ginger syrup as a sauce. If cherries, use cherry syrup or currant jelly mixed with syrup for sauce. Boil together half a cup of water and a cup of sugar to make the syrup. It is safe to venture that the preparation of this one article of dessert, which is by no means the most elaborate advanced by modern cookery schools, and which is no more delicate or appetizing than many of our 10-minute recipes, would consume a whole forenoon of the ordinary woman's time. It is quite possible that by close study and experiment, the instructions might be so far disregarded as to produce the same results in less than half the time. But it is left to the decision of all intelligent people whether any article of dessert, which will be eaten in 10 minutes by an ordinary family, justifies half a day's hard toil. Some practical suggestions. In order to accomplish the cooking for an ordinary household quickly and easily, There are other considerations quite as important as the directions for making the dishes themselves, and the editor of this book requests all consulting it to conform, as far as possible, to the following suggestions. Be systematic. No matter how your kitchen or pantry may be constructed, see that all ingredients commonly used in cooking are gathered into the smallest possible compass and always in place. Model your cooking arrangements after those of a steamer's galley, the most compact and efficient kitchen in existence. If you have not a patent meal chest with different compartments and a sliding cake board, have a solid bin of just the right height, constructed for your flour, and let your molding board inverted form the cover. Back of this and beside it have shelves placed, and on these range your little sacks of meal, your baking powder, soda, sugar, salt, cornstarch, flavoring extracts, eggs, lard, spices, rolling pin, cake cutters, mixing dishes and mixing spoons, egg beater, scoops, graters, choppers, baking dishes, and pastry knife. The time saved by this simple arrangement, which any woman who can handle a hammer and nails can easily contrive for herself, is simply astonishing, and probably comprises from 1/2 to 3/4 of the time she spends in cooking, when perpetually running hither and thither to hunt up needed ingredients and then to replace them. Learn to be versatile in action. Do not stand perpetually over your range, but when a dish is once upon the stove or in the oven, prepare any others that may be desired after our quick recipes. In baking, roasting, or any of the longer processes, calculate the time dishes can safely be left without attention, and rest, amuse yourself, or attend to other waiting duties. Always use the best materials. Fresh eggs, pure milk, sweet butter and lard, the best brands of baking powder, the purest spices and extracts will ensure unvarying success. Inferior materials destroy the chemical conditions under which various ingredients unite and lead to frequent and mortifying failures. Provide yourself with handy utensils. A few dollars intelligently expended will provide the busy worker, hampered by old-fashioned methods, with utensils which will save many hours of time in a single week. The following should be regarded as indispensable: a patent sieve, which is combined scoop and measuring dish, and which costs but 50 cents. A press and vegetable strainer, which mashes potatoes, strains gravy, presses out jelly, prepares all sorts of vegetables for the table, and performs a variety of other useful services instantaneously, and which also costs but half $1. A little nutmeg grater, which works with a crank. A patent egg beater, a potato slicer, and patent chopper, and combined apple peeler, corer, and slicer. An old coffee cup, teacup, pint bowl, tablespoons, teaspoons, knife, fork, and mixing spoons should always be kept ready at hand. In fact, the smaller compass within, which the cook keeps all her cooking utensils and standard ingredients, her flour, meal, flavoring extract, spices, shortening, etc., the easier and more expeditiously will she turn off her work. It would require slight effort to induce dealers and manufacturers to take upon themselves, for an almost inappreciable charge, many little tasks which now come upon our cooks. Whenever a steady demand arises for shelled peas, string beans, and lima beans ready for the pot, fish ready cleaned, fowls thoroughly cleaned and trussed for the oven, our dealers will hasten to supply it. Part 1. Quickest dishes. 5 to 15 minutes. 1. Ambrosia. Peel and slice nice fresh oranges. Arrange in alternate layers with grated or desiccated coconut, sprinkling with sugar each layer of oranges. 2. Creamed apples. 1 quart applesauce, 1 cupful cream, 1 cupful sugar, 2 whites of eggs beaten stiff. Mix the cream, sugar, and whites of eggs together and pour over the apples when cold. 3. Apple foam. 1 quart of applesauce, strained. 3 whites of eggs beaten stiff. 6 heaping tablespoonfuls powdered sugar. Beat together 5 minutes. Serve with cream or rich milk. 4. Fried apples. Core nice ripe apples. Cut into slices about 1/3 inch thick and fry in butter on a hot frying pan, browning them delicately on both sides. 5. Broma. Put even quantities of milk and water to boil. For every cupful, allow 1 even tablespoonful of broma and half a teaspoonful of sugar. Moisten the broma and sugar with just as little of the warm milk and water as it is required to dissolve it, and pour into the boiling liquid, stirring until it recommences to boil, when it is ready for the table. 6. Baking powder biscuits. 4 level cupfuls flour. 2 heaping teaspoonfuls of the best baking powder equals 3 heaping teaspoonfuls of the second quality and 4 of third-class powder. Half cupful melted butter or lard, or preferably sweet cream. 1 flowing cupful water or milk. Half teaspoonful salt. Run the baking powder through the sieve with the flour and mix it thoroughly. Stir in the milk or water in shortening. Knead lightly on the cake board. Roll out about 1/2 inch thick and cut into biscuits. Bake on a slightly buttered pan in a hot oven for 10 minutes. With all the ingredients close at hand, the biscuits can be made ready for the oven in less time than it takes to describe the process. If rolled very thin, cut small, and baked in a very hot oven, they will bake in 5 minutes, and a skillful cook can place them on a table within 10 minutes from the time she first touches the flour. 7. Bananas, fried. Cut in 2 lengthwise. Dip in a paste composed of 2 eggs, 1 level cupful flour, half cupful water, half teaspoonful soda dissolved in hot water. Fry in boiling lard to a delicate brown. 8. Banana fritters. Peel the fruit and slice it down the middle. Dip in syrup, dredge with flour, and fry in hot lard. 9. Banana tarts. Fill shells of puff paste, bake to a delicate brown, with sliced bananas lightly sugared and covered with whipped cream. Prepare the cream by 2 minutes beating with a good egg beater. For the pastry, see remarks under puff paste number 509. 10. Beefsteak, broiled. Much advice is frequently given about how to make a tough beefsteak tender, but the best advice is to never buy a beefsteak unless it is juicy and tender, and then have it cut the blessed medium of 3/4 of an inch. Season with pepper and salt, and place in a wire gridiron over glowing coals. As soon as it begins to splutter, remove it quickly and lay it for a moment upon the warm platter, that the juices which have started to flow may be preserved in the form of gravy. Repeat the process as soon as the other side has been presented to the fire. Return it to the fire and cook it until it is done, browning nicely on both sides. 11. Beefsteak broiled in a dry pan. When it is inconvenient to present the steak directly to the fire, it may be placed in a very hot frying pan without any grease, turned quickly, and served in precisely the same manner as the steak broiled over the coals, and it will be found to be little, if at all, inferior to the latter in flavor. 12. Beefsteak and mushrooms. Boil the mushrooms in milk for 8 minutes, then season. Add a tablespoonful of butter and thicken with a little browned flour. Lay the broiled beefsteak, which has been broiling meanwhile, on a platter and pour the mushrooms and sauce over it. 13. Beet and cabbage pickles. Equal quantities of raw cabbage and cold boiled beets, chopped fine. To each quart, add 1 heaping teaspoonful salt, half a teaspoonful black pepper, a little cayenne pepper, half a cup of grated horseradish, and 1 cup of sugar. Cover with vinegar. 14. Buttermilk porridge. 1 pint buttermilk heated to scalding point in double boiler. 2 tablespoonfuls flour, moistened with cold water. Boil 1 minute. 15. Buckwheat cakes with baking powder. 2 level cupfuls of buckwheat flour, 2 cupfuls water, 1 cupful milk, 2 tablespoonfuls syrup, 2 tablespoonfuls melted butter or lard, 1 level teaspoonful salt. Beat up smooth and fry on a buttered griddle. 16. Buttermilk biscuits. 4 level cupfuls sifted flour, 1 teaspoonful baking powder, 1 teaspoonful soda dissolved in 2 cupfuls of buttermilk, 1 level teaspoonful salt. Mix quickly together, knead into a compact mass, cut with biscuit cutter, and bake 10 minutes in a hot oven. 17. Baked cabbage. Cold boiled cabbage chopped fine. Stir in a little cream and bake for 8 minutes in a hot oven. 18. Caramel coloring. 2 cupfuls boiling water, 2 cupfuls sugar. Put all of the sugar into half of the water and boil it down until it turns black. Then add the remainder of the water and stir until the thickened, candy-like substance is completely dissolved. This caramel coloring is often required in cooking, and it is indispensable for rich black fruitcake. Properly bottled up, it can be kept for any length of time. 19. Celery salad. 2 cupfuls fine-cut white celery, 2 cupfuls chopped cabbage. Season with pepper, salt, and a little sugar, and cover with a mayonnaise, number 164, or hollandaise sauce, number 279. 20. Cheese biscuits. 1 level cupful flour, half cupful softened butter, 2 cupfuls grated cheese. Knead together with the hands. Roll out thin. Cut into small biscuits and bake 6 minutes in a quick oven. 21. Cheese sandwiches. 2 cupfuls of grated cheese, 2 mashed yolks of hard-boiled eggs, a small lump of melted butter, 1 tablespoonful mayonnaise, see recipe number 164. Spread between thin slices of buttered bread. 22. Cheese soufflés. 1 cupful grated cheese, 6 eggs, white and yolks beaten separately, 2 tablespoonfuls melted butter. Mix the ingredients together, adding the whites last. Bake in small paper cases, 10 minutes in a moderate oven. 23. Cheese fondue. 1 cupful dry breadcrumbs, moistened with fresh milk. 2 cupfuls grated cheese. 3 eggs beaten. A small lump of butter. Pepper and salt. Mix carelessly together. Place in a buttered dish and bake 10 minutes in a hot oven. 24. Chicken croquettes. 1 pound of cold boiled chicken chopped fine. 1/2 pound of cold boiled rice, or 2 cups of breadcrumbs. A cupful of grated cheese. 1 small onion, and a little parsley chopped fine. Spice with cinnamon and cloves, and season with salt, pepper, and a little thyme. Mix with the beaten yolks of 5 eggs, then form into small balls. Dip into beaten egg, roll in cracker crumbs, and fry in hot lard. 25. Chicken croquettes with potato. To each pound of boiled chicken, chopped fine, take a cupful of mashed potatoes, 1 egg, a little celery chopped fine, and season with mustard, sweet marjoram, and salt and pepper. Moisten with the liquor in which the fowl has been boiled, adding a little milk. Make into balls, dip into beaten eggs, roll in cracker crumbs, and fry a nut brown in boiling lard. 26. Chicken croquettes with mushrooms. 1/2 pound of cold boiled chicken chopped fine, with a tablespoonful of butter and a teaspoonful of flour. Add 1/2 cupful of meat or chicken broth. Season with salt, pepper, and a bit of nutmeg, and stir over a hot fire for 5 minutes, adding 4 chopped mushrooms at the last moment, and while still hot, stirring in 2 beaten yolks of eggs. Form into little balls, dip into a beaten egg, roll in breadcrumbs, and fry in hot lard. 27. Chicken patties. Chop fine cold-boiled or roast chicken, moistening well with boiled milk, thickened with a little cornstarch, and seasoned with butter, salt, and pepper. Distribute in heaping tablespoonfuls in small gem pans lined with puff paste, which have been previously baked 8 minutes in a quick oven. Set in the oven again and brown for 2 or 3 minutes. 28. Chicken salad. Strip the meat from the bones of cold chicken and shred it with the fingers. Mix with celery cut fine, the chopped whites and mashed yolks of several hard-boiled eggs. Stir into this a stiff mayonnaise dressing made after recipe number 164. Press into a shape and slice when cold. 29. Chocolate cream. Half box gelatin previously dissolved in cold water. 3 cupfuls boiling milk. 1 small cupful sugar. Half cupful chocolate. Vanilla flavoring. Stir the gelatin, sugar, and chocolate into the boiling milk. Add the flavoring and pour into a mold. Serve with cream or milk. 30. Chocolate icing, boiled. Half cupful sugar. 4 tablespoonfuls water. 2 beaten eggs. 4 heaping tablespoonfuls grated chocolate or 2 tablespoonfuls cocoa or broma. Vanilla flavoring. Boil the sugar, water, and chocolate together 2 minutes. Then stir in the eggs, whipping the mixture with a fork, and boil for a couple minutes more. This icing is very smooth and cuts nicely. When there is no fire, the following icing will be convenient to make. Same uncooked. 3 whites of eggs, beaten stiff. 1 cupful powdered sugar. Half cupful cocoa or broma. Vanilla flavoring. 31. Chocolate pudding. 3 full tablespoonfuls of cornstarch. 1 quart of milk. 3 tablespoonfuls of chocolate. 3 tablespoonfuls of sugar. Scald the milk in a double strainer. Dissolve the chocolate in 1 tablespoonful boiling water. Add the cornstarch to this. Stir some of the boiling milk into the mixture, a spoonful at a time, until the cornstarch is dissolved. Then stir the whole into boiling milk until it thickens. Serve with a little sweet cream or sweetened milk. 32. Chocolate cornstarch pudding. 1 quart boiling milk. 4 heaping tablespoonfuls cornstarch dissolved in warm milk. Half cup chocolate dissolved in boiling water. 2 beaten eggs. 1 scant cup sugar. Pinch salt. Put all the other ingredients into the boiling milk, stirring as it thickens. Serve cold with cream or milk. 33. Breaded chops. Veal, lamb, or mutton chops may be easily breaded with little outlay of time or labor, if the housewife will follow the suggestions laid down elsewhere and provide herself with a supply of cracker dust, or once a month reduce her stale bread and waste crackers to crumbs, creating a supply to be drawn upon at will. Season each chop, then dip into a beaten egg well seasoned. Roll in the crumbs, and drop into boiling lard, and fry to a rich golden brown. 34. Chops, veal, lamb, or mutton, broiled. Season with salt and pepper, and if veal, smear the outside with a little butter. Place in a wire boiler over a bed of glowing coals, turning frequently until thoroughly done, which will take from 5 to 10 minutes time according to the heat. Chops breaded and boiled. See cutlets, number 76. 36. Clam chowder. Fry a couple of sliced onions and a little salt pork at the bottom of the kettle. Put in a layer of thinly sliced potatoes, then a layer of clams, and lastly a layer of broken crackers. Season each layer as it is put in the kettle. Pour slowly in just sufficient water to cover and boil for 10 minutes. A little Worcestershire sauce will improve it. 37. Clam fritters. Chop the clams coarsely. Mix in a thick batter of milk, flour, eggs, pepper, and salt. Drop into hot lard and fry it golden brown. 38. Steamed clams. Lay the soft clams in the inner dish of a mush boiler without any liquid to them and cook 5 minutes. Serve in their shells with a bechamel sauce, number 272. 39. Clam stew. Cook the meat in its own juice with a few tablespoonfuls of water added for 5 minutes. Season with salt, pepper, and butter. Thicken with a little flour and serve on toast. 49. Cocoa. Set equal quantities of milk and water to boil together. The quantity of cocoa allowed to each cup depends much upon its strength and flavor, but ordinarily 2 even tablespoonfuls will make 3 nice cups. Add a very little sugar. Dissolve thoroughly in the smallest possible quantity of boiling water. Add it to the milk and water and let it boil up once, constantly stirring it. Note: the great fault of tyros in preparing cocoa or chocolate is either making it too weak or not thoroughly cooking the cocoa, thus making it either a very insipid or rank drink. 41. Coconut drops. 2 cupfuls desiccated coconut, half cupful fine crushed or powdered sugar, 1 white of egg beaten stiff. Mix together and drop on buttered paper. Bake 10 minutes. 42. Coconut layer cake. For layer cake, see recipe number 145. 2 whites of eggs beaten stiff, 8 teaspoonfuls powdered sugar, 1 cupful prepared coconut, moistened slightly with hot milk. 43. Golden coconut pudding. Yolks of 4 eggs, white of 1 beaten, half cupful powdered sugar, 1 pint sweet milk, 6 tablespoonfuls of grated coconut. Bake 15 minutes. Remove from oven, cool a little, and cover with a meringue made from the whites of 3 eggs beaten to a froth with 3 tablespoonfuls powdered sugar. Brown 3 minutes in hot oven. 44. White coconut pudding. Whites of 5 eggs whipped to a froth, half cupful powdered sugar, 5 tablespoonfuls grated coconut, 1 cupful of sweet milk. Stir together and bake for 10 minutes in a hot oven. Serve with cream or milk. 45. Codfish balls. Equal quantities of boiled codfish, minced fine, and mashed potatoes, beaten together with 2 or 3 eggs and a little butter. Fry in hot lard or butter. Codfish puffs. Make up codfish balls after foregoing recipe, placed in a buttered gem pan, butter the tops, and bake in a hot oven. 47. Coffee the good old-fashioned way. Be sure to have good coffee, freshly roasted, freshly ground, and very coarsely ground. Old government Java is generally preferred by epicures, but Mocha and a mixture of Java and Rio also have their patrons. Allow 4 heaping tablespoonfuls of ground coffee to 1 quart of water. Put the water in the coffee pot and when it is boiling briskly, put in the coffee, which has been previously moistened with cold water. Boil 1 minute, then dash in a half a cupful of cold water and let it stand still in a warm place for 3 minutes before serving. French drip coffee. Allow 6 tablespoonfuls of ground coffee to every quart of water. Place the coffee in the perforated dish inside of the pot. Pour the water slowly through it, repeating the process several times. The chief advantage of this process is that the liquid coffee, not having the grounds in it, can be kept at the boiling point without deteriorating. 49. Coffee other ways. Some people make a very nice quality of coffee by suspending the coffee in a muslin bag inside of the pot, a process similar to the French process, and even more perfect. A very common practice is to stir up a white of an egg with the ground coffee before putting it in the pot. Some cooks use a whole egg, while others believe they clarify the coffee by simply placing an eggshell in the coffee pot. 50. Coffee cream. Half package gelatin dissolved in cold water. Half cupful strong liquid coffee. Half cupful sugar. 1.5 cupfuls sweet cream. Mix the coffee, sugar, and gelatin together and bring to a boil. When slightly cooled, stir in the cream. Pour into a mold previously dipped in cold water. Serve with milk or cream. 51. Coffee jelly. 1 package gelatin soaked in 1 pint cold water. 1 quart boiling coffee. 1 cupful sugar. Put the gelatin and sugar into the coffee and bring to a boil. Strain into a wet mold. 52. Cold meat and breadcrumbs. Cold meat seasoned and chopped fine, laid in a shallow earthen baking dish, and covered with breadcrumbs well seasoned with a beaten egg and a little milk. Brown in a hot oven for 5 minutes. 53. Corn oysters. 2 cupfuls cold boiled or canned sweet corn, grated or chopped fine. 2 beaten eggs. Half cupful flour. Half cupful cream or milk. 1 teaspoonful baking powder. Pepper and salt. Drop in spoonfuls on a buttered frying pan. Serve hot. 54. Corn batter cakes. 2 cupfuls cornmeal. 1 cupful flour. 1 teaspoonful baking powder. 2 cupfuls milk. 2 eggs beaten. 2 tablespoonfuls melted butter or lard. Half teaspoonful salt. 1 tablespoonful syrup or molasses. Beat all together until smooth. Drop in spoonfuls on a hot, buttered griddle. 55. Cornmeal bannocks. 2 cupfuls cornmeal, thoroughly wet with sufficient boiling milk to bring it to the consistency of stiff mush. 2 eggs beaten. 1 level teaspoonful salt. 1 tablespoonful cream. Make into flat cakes and fry in butter or into balls and brown in hot lard. 56. Cornmeal drop cakes. 2 cupfuls cornmeal moistened with scalding water and quickly cooled below scalding point. 1 cupful flour. 2 teaspoonfuls baking powder. 2 eggs. Half cupful milk. 1 teaspoonful salt. Drop into hot lard and fry a delicate brown. 57. Cornmeal mush, fried. Cut cold mush into thin slices and fry crisp in lard or butter. The mush will look nicer and be disposed to stick to the frying pan if it is rolled in flour before frying. 58. Cornmeal mush, breaded. Cut cornmeal mush into thin slices. Dip into beaten egg. Strew with bread or cracker crumbs. Drop into boiling lard and fry to a delicate brown. Cornmeal mush in batter. Cut cold cornmeal mush into slices using a wet, thin-bladed knife. Dip into beaten egg. Roll in flour. Drop into hot lard and fry to a nice brown. 60. Cornstarch custard. 1 quart boiling milk. 2 tablespoonfuls cornstarch dissolved in a little warm milk. 2 eggs well beaten. 6 tablespoonfuls sugar, vanilla, or rose flavoring. Stir the other ingredients into the boiling milk until it thickens. 61. Cornstarch and coconut pudding. Cornstarch and coconut pudding. 1 quart boiling milk. 2 tablespoonfuls cornstarch. 4 yolks of eggs beaten. Half cup grated coconut. A pinch of salt. Moisten the cornstarch with a few spoonfuls of the hot milk. Then mix with the yolks of eggs, the coconut, and salt, and stir into the boiling milk until it thickens. When slightly cool, cover the top with a meringue made of white of eggs beaten stiff with a half cupful of powdered sugar, and sprinkle the top with coconut. 62. Everyday cookies. 4 cupfuls flour. 2 heaping tablespoonfuls baking powder. 1 teacupful milk. 2 eggs beaten. 2 tablespoonfuls melted butter. 1 cupful sugar. Mix briskly. Roll out thin, cut in any shape desired, and bake 10 minutes in a hot oven. 63. Rich cookies. 1 cupful melted butter. 1 cupful sugar. 4 heaping cupfuls flour. 1 heaping teaspoonful baking powder. 2 eggs beaten. Flavoring. Mix all the ingredients together, reserving a little flour to roll out. Roll thin, sprinkle with sugar and ground cinnamon. Cut out and bake about 8 minutes on a buttered baking pan in a hot oven. 64. Crabs. Drop into boiling water for 15 minutes. Drain and serve with pepper and salt, ketchup, or chow chow. 65. Crab salad. Take equal quantities of the meat of boiled crabs and minced cabbage. Shred the clam meat and mix with the cabbage. Then pour over it a mayonnaise, number 164. And serve it in the crab shells lying on a sea of kale, if it can be procured. If not, on lettuce leaves. 66. Cracked wheat pudding. 2 cupfuls cracked wheat mush. 1 cupful milk. 2 beaten eggs. Half cupful sugar. A handful of raisins or currants. Bake 12 minutes. Sweet dreams.